Hey, I'm Steve. Thanks for checking out my video. In this video, I'm going to take you through the process from start to finish of what is involved in selling books on Amazon, whether you do FBA or MF, which is merchant fulfilled. Now, of course, the shipping process will be different between FBA and merchant fulfilled. Okay, as you can see behind me, I'm currently working on a shipment of about 75 books. And I'm going to take you through from sourcing, conditioning, to creating your shipment on Seller Central, and then packing and shipping. Now, I'm not going to get into a lot of details in each step, but I'm going to give you the basics. There are certain tools you will need to go out and be able to source books. Let's take a look at what they are. First thing that I use is a wireless earbuds, because when you're scanning books, depending on which app you're using, I use SqoutIQ, it's going to emit different tones. So some stores play loud music, or there might be a lot of people around. So with the earbuds, they're Bluetooth to your cell phone. You get the tones in your ear, and you basically work in stealth mode. The next that I use is the Opticon 2006. This is a Bluetooth scanner. Now there are different types on the market. This one costs about $200. It's about the size of a car key fob. It's very small and discreet. There are others on the market that are priced lower. The least amount is called eYoYo, EYOYO. That goes about $45 new. It's bigger. It's about the size of a garage door opener. Now you can scan books with just your phone, but it is a much lower process. Even if you try it, you're not going to want to do it. So invest in some sort of scanner. I will put links for the different scanners down in the description box, so if you want to see and compare. And the other item I take with me is a power bank, because the last thing you want to do is have any of your devices run low while you're out scanning. Now, of course, you will need an iPhone, smartphone, or an Android phone to do your scanning. You can either use your phone, which is slower, but you're going to need an app to give you your data. I suggest you use SqoutIQ. There's also a link down below for you to check it out. It gives you great data. You input your buy cost. It's going to calculate the fees for Amazon. It's going to give you what your profit on that book would be. It's going to give you what's called an e-score, which is only on that app. And that tells you how many out of 180 days that book has sold. So it's going to show you whether it's a really active selling book. It's also going to give you the ranking of Amazon. So it's really worth it. It's a subscription. All you do is every day before you head out, you re-download your database so it refreshes and updates, and then you're good to go. There are others out there, but I suggest that one. It's the best one. I am not going to get into some details on every section because it is just too much. There are some really good videos on YouTube as far as like creating your shipment. There's a channel called Rally Roots, and he has a great video, which I actually followed through on a few of my first shipments, on how to enter your books into shipment and create the shipment and to print out your labels. Okay, so those are the basic tools I use to go out to be able to find the books for resale. Now the next step is, where do you find them? Thrift stores such as Goodwill, Salvation Army all sell books. Local thrift stores, most of them will sell books. Libraries. With libraries, some libraries will have what's called an ongoing sale, whether they call it a book nook. They might have, some shelves dedicated to books for sale. They might have a table or two. Some don't have it, and typically the ones that don't have it will have a larger book sale, maybe every few months, every quarter, a couple times a year, whatever be the case. So now that you've gone out and found books to resale and you've brought them back, now you need to condition them. There is something on Amazon called Book Condition Guidelines, and it gives you each category, which is acceptable is the lowest. Then there's good, very good, like new, and new. Do yourself a favor, do not sell any books new. I don't care how good it looks, don't do it. Go with like new, very good, good, and acceptable. Okay, acceptable, which is the lowest of the list. If the book has a lot of highlighting, if there's a crease in the cover, the corners are bent, to you it looks like it's in pretty bad shape, but the pages are still clear and readable, even if they're highlighted, that's acceptable. If you're unsure of your condition, always go down a step, because what that's going to do is, and I've gotten feedback from it on Amazon, where they would say, oh, the book was in much better condition than I expected, because I categorized it as good, and could have been very good. So always go down if you're unsure. Under promise and over deliver. Okay, so you're ready to condition your books. I have two here. One I'm marking as acceptable, and the other one is very good. As this one, you can see the corners are bent, pages are a little bent, there's a ding on the cover, there's a crease running down the cover, my edges are bent. Now when you flip through it, you're looking for highlighting, markings, bent pages. Straighten out your bent pages. You can't do anything about the markings. Look, see, there's some highlighting. There's some more highlighting. So it's lightly highlighted. There's some more. There's some green. There's green. See, now the cover's bent. Page is bent. But that's okay to sell a book like that. So that would be, I'll probably mark this as acceptable. Now if you look at this book, nice clean corners, nothing's bent. If we flip through it, pages are clean, no markings, no bent pages. So that's very good. So always go down a grade if you're not sure. I usually don't, there's very few books that I would mark as like new. They'd have to be pristine. So I typically go, the most categories are good and very good for me. Now remember, again, this is my process. Once I get home, I take each book, I flip through it, I know what grade it's gonna get, and then I take a sticky note and I put it on the back, and let me show you that process. And what I'm also doing is starting to create my custom SKU at that point. So every day when I get home, I do this process for the day's haul so I don't get backed up and confused, because I like to add what I paid for each book. So this book I paid 75 cents and I know it's in very good condition. So right off the bat, I do my VG and I do 0.75. So I know it's very good and it's 75 cents that I paid. Then once I get my shipment, I would start to mark them. If I'm going to send it out on say April 10th, I'll go 410. Book 1, VG 0.75, and then when I scan it, say this was a rank of 175,000, then I would go 175K. And that's the information I'm going to put on my custom SKU. So down the road, when the book sells, I can look at it in the sold category on Seller Central, and I can enter this information into my Excel spreadsheet. Okay, what I would be doing is I'm going to sell what it sells for, the fees, what I paid, which is right here, and then it's going to give me my profit. Then I could put the date that it's sent in, and then I would enter my date that it's sold, and then my Excel spreadsheet gives me how many days it took to sell. So I can track information. And basically I entered a rank also, because then you can see, well, 175 rank took X amount of days to sell and so forth. Just information. Information is key. Now you don't have to create a custom SKU. It will generate one for you. If you don't want to keep track of information, I suggest you do come up with something, whether a variation of what I showed you that I do, or come up with your own, whatever you'd like, whatever information you want to track. Now that you have your book conditioned and your custom SKU started to be created, now you need to price your books. I like to do it before I'm ready to create my shipment. It just cuts down on the workload all at once. So like I said, when I get home, I will condition the book. I write it on my sticky note, and then say I have 20 books from the day. Then I will come over and I will go into Amazon and I will scan each book into Amazon search, pull up that book that's being sold, and then you can see your keep it chart, and you can see what the going rate for books are, and that's how you determine what you're going to sell yours at. Let me show you a little bit of how that's done. Now what I do, again, this is my process. I go into Amazon, I put books in the search category. You hit enter and you come here and you click. Now I'm not doing this on the screen capture, so it's a little different. Amazon Books, Advanced Search. Then you bring your cursor down, and I just put my cursor in the column that says ISBN number. Now this is where you will need another tool that I didn't show you earlier. You need a barcode scanner. This one is plug-in or wireless. I just happen to have it plugged in. And this is going to scan the ISBN number. Before we were scanning it into our phone. Now we're going to scan it into the computer so we can pull up the item on Amazon. So I have my cursor on the ISBN and the advanced search, and I just scan the barcode, and you see it pulls up the book. So there you go, and here's the book. You see it's same book. Okay, now that gives me my information. This is a paperback, so I would click on paperback and then click 43 used and new offers. So I click that column. It brings me to the book. I scroll down a little. I have the Keepa on there, so every item will show my Keepa chart, and it gives you sales statistics and so forth. Now you can see this is all highlighted in pink, which means Amazon is selling this book. That's this gold line. Amazon is selling this book at $26.88. So now if I scroll down a little more, so it's giving you all the other sellers, but these are not Prime. These are fulfilled by merchant. So over here on the left, right here, you want to click the Prime. Okay, it's going to reload it. Now this is going to give me the sellers selling it at Prime, which means Amazon FBA. And you can see your prices. So the lowest one at good, they're $24.73, $24.99, and they're going to go up from there. Now here's Amazon. Amazon is actually selling this book at $26.88, and those are the only Prime sales. So there's only 4 sellers, so that's good. So for me, this book I have it marked at very good. So there's only a good, and then Amazon. So they're selling at $26.88. So I want to come in below that. These guys are at $24.99. I can come in at that price and probably sell it before them because they're good and mine is very good, or I could kind of go between them and Amazon. Most likely I would just come in at the same price as them, and hopefully a buyer will say, well, I can get a very good one or a good one for the same price, and I'm still saving a few dollars off of the new one, but it's still very good, and then they'll take mine. So I'm going to price this book at $24.99. So that's where I would go back to my sticky, and I would just write $24.99 on the bottom corner. So, and I would do that for every book as I bring them in, and then when I'm ready to create my shipment, all my books will already have my custom SKU ready to go and what price I'm listing it at. Otherwise, if I have 75 books sitting here, I would have to do this process and then enter it into the shipment. Do the next one, do this process, enter it in the shipment. I like to do it in the work up front in pieces. So now when I'm ready to create my shipment, all I would have to do is start entering information off each sticker. The next step would be, once you have all your books ready to go and you want to create your shipment, you have to do it in Amazon Seller Central. I don't want to give too much information here because it's pretty detailed. There are videos out there to learn how to do this, but you would come up here to inventory, you would click add a product. Now it's going to bring up a list of new product, and then right in there you see it says product name, UPC, EAN, ISBN number, or ASIN. And now from here, once again, I can use my scanner, scan the barcode, and it will pull up. Let me do the boom. It pulls it up. Now you see that book is here. You can sell it new or used. You click sell yours, your information box. Now here's where you would put. First box is seller SKU. I would enter in my SKU off of my sticky label. Then your price, we know I wanted to make that one $24.99. And your condition, you select your condition, very good. And now on the bottom, you have 2 choices. I want to ship this item myself to the customer if it sells. That's if you were going to keep your inventory at your place and do merchant fulfilled. The next one is I want Amazon to ship and provide customer service for my items if they sell. That's what you want to check off. Once that's information in there, you would be able to allow to click the save and finish, and it adds it into your inventory. And then you would go back up top and do another product and so forth until all your items are entered in. All right, once all your books are entered into your inventory and you're ready to start your shipment, you're going to create a shipment. Now this is the part that I'm not going to really get into detail on. There are some good videos, like I said. Rowdy Roots I can't do any better than what he did, and it takes you step by step through the process from putting your stuff in inventory, which I just showed you, and then it takes it from there, going through to get your labels, your barcodes, which go over your ISBN numbers, and then creating your shipment. So once you're in that video and you follow it, you'll label all your books. So you'll have a barcode like that goes over your current ISBN number, and you'll label all your books like that. And once you do that, you're going to create your shipment. Seller Central will break you down your shipment and tell you where you're sending your books to. Typically, you're always going to get it split. So I have 75 books here. It might tell me send 40 to one warehouse, 20 to another, 15 to a third, and so forth. So you have to follow. So you're going to have multiple boxes. Then you're going to load your boxes up. You're going to print out your shipping labels. Each box is going to get 2 labels. Not like when you sell on eBay where you just get 1 label. One is going to be for your carrier, UPS, FedEx, whoever. And the other one's going to be a label with a barcode that they'll scan at the Amazon warehouse. Now when you're creating your shipment, it's going to give you choices of your carrier, FedEx, or UPS. Test each one to see, like you can click it and then it'll give you the price for your shipment. Then go back, click the other, and see which one is cheaper for you. For me, FedEx is always cheaper than UPS. I've heard others say differently, but for me, I guess it depends where you live. So check out which is going to be, cheaper for you. Shipping for books, because Amazon is partnered with those carriers, it is much cheaper than when you sell on eBay. You can send a 20-pound box for like $6 to $8. Then once you have your boxes packed up, whether you're using UPS or FedEx, you have to go drop them off. If you're doing FedEx, find your nearest Walgreens. Pretty much, I think most of them have drop-off counters. It's right where the photo center is. You just leave them there. They'll scan them in, accepted, and FedEx will pick them up from there. And then once you drop off your shipment, start the process over. Get back out there and find more books. You want to have constant flow. You should have books active and selling in the warehouses. You want to have books in transit, because once you send them out, I would say the average is going to be about a week for them to get checked in. I mean, if it goes to a nearby warehouse, it could be a few days. But the average, I've seen up to almost 2 weeks. So call it a week, where they're going to be in transit before they get scanned in and active for sale. So you should have books active for sale. You should have books in transit. You should have books at your place being processed for the next shipment. And then you should be going out and getting more. And you got to go and over and over and over. They call it, you got to feed the beast. Because those books are going to start selling. A few months down the road, you're going to get overlap in sales. And you're going to start selling multiple books every day. So you got to keep feeding them, or your inventory is just going to dwindle down. All right, that's going to be a wrap on my process, what I use, finding the books, and how I process the books. Now, some of the things obviously are by the book and guidelines as far as what you can do, when it comes to your shipment. But as far as what tools you use, where you find your books and source them, the process that you do for, creating a custom SKU and so forth. Take bits and pieces of what I showed you, what others show you, and as you go, you'll come up with your own way. So thanks for watching. I hope this gave you an insight on what it's like to sell books, and I'll see you later. Bye.